So it's time for a new deals of the week, where I'm going to show you the best Prebuilt gaming PC deals for this week. Now, if you have a budget that's higher than the number 1 PC or lower than the number 3, then don't worry, because in the description you will have a bunch of gaming PCs that I recommend you buying for every single budget, and you can always wait for the next week with new gaming deals. If you want to get updated, just subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified when I upload deals of the week. With that being said, let's start with the video. With the first PC, we have the 15L by HP. This one is on a new sale right now. I always mention it, but right now it's on a new deal that is actually worth the buy in my opinion for starting gaming PC. It's $585 now. It's going to be a little bit more expensive because you will need to upgrade some stuff from this PC. It's really easy to do. You just have to click on customize and buy and change the components that I mentioned. But if you don't upgrade anything, this PC comes with the Ryzen 5 5600G for the CPU. It has integrated graphics, but don't worry because you have dedicated graphics on this PC. The RX 5500 is not going to be the best graphics card, but you're spending $585 and you're going to get a capable PC for games like GTA 5, Valorant, or any competitive title at 60 FPS on average at least. So it's not too bad for 1080p gaming. Now, this is what I recommend you doing. I recommend you clicking on customize and buy, going to the graphics card section and change it to the GTX 1660 Super just for a $40 difference. And believe me that the difference between the 1660 Super and the 5500 is huge for gaming. Like, you are going to notice a big difference. So I think that the price difference makes sense for a 1660 Super. If you don't have the money to, don't worry, you can get away with the 5500 depending on the games that you play, but the 1660 Super will give you a much better experience and you will be able to play much more games, even high demanding video games. And the total price if you do this upgrade will be $625. And this is an upgrade that I consider almost mandatory, because if you don't do it right now, changing it to the 1660 Super in the future is going to cost you way more. And the other two upgrades are not too necessary right now if you don't have the budget to, because these two upgrades you can make them whenever you want. If you don't have the money right now, don't worry, you can make these upgrades down the line. And I'm talking about the RAM and the storage. If you change the RAM to 16 gigs and the storage to at least 500 gigs of SSD, the total price will be around $800, which I still consider a good price for a 1080p gaming desktop. So if you're just starting on this gaming world, I think that this PC with the upgrades that I mentioned is going to run smoothly in basically every single game at 1080p. So I think that this one is on a really good deal. You end up saving $200 and you get really good performance for 1080p gaming. With the next PC, we have the AVS Master Gaming Desktop. This one is $1,400 and you might be wondering, why did I jump from $800 all the way up to $1,400? Well, like I've said at the beginning of the video, you will have plenty of more budgets in the description and I don't want to make these videos too long, that's why, but don't worry, I've got you covered still, even if I don't show it on the video. Now, this one is $1,400. It's on a deal right now. You save $300 back and you get a gaming PC with the latest i5-12400F, the RTX 3060 Ti version. So for gaming, basically it's going to be a beast. Then you get 16 gigs of RAM, 2x8 of DDR4 3200MHz and 1TB of M.2 SSD. Here you don't need to upgrade anything as of right now. The only downside that I see for this PC is that it doesn't have the best airflow and the best CPU cooler. So down the line, if you want, you can upgrade the case and the CPU cooler to make temperatures for this PC overall better. But in terms of gaming performance, I think that this one is great for the price. The RTX 3060 Ti I think is the limit for 1080p gaming. I wouldn't spend more money on a graphics card for 1080p, and it's actually more than capable of 1440p 60 FPS on average in almost every single game. And if you play those competitive titles that I've mentioned before, 1440p and 144 FPS on average is going to be more than possible. So this PC is actually great at gaming for both 1440p and 1080p. So overall, it's a great buy. But if you have $200 extra, you can get this Skytech Chronos gaming PC desktop from Amazon. You can get this one on Newegg as well, so I will leave both links down below. Now, I have a whole video talking about this PC that I will leave in the top right of the screen. That's why I'm not going to get into too much detail. Here you get the i5-12600K. If you have been following me, you know that this one is my best CPU in terms of price to performance. Then you get the RTX 3070, 1TB of SSD, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 650W 80+ volt power supply. But the most important part here is that you get a gaming PC with a good case, a front mesh panel. You also get great cooling for the CPU. So in terms of thermals, it's going to be just fine. And then you get the RTX 3070, which is going to be slightly better than the 3060 Ti from the last one. But you get the i5-12600K, which is going to be much better than the 12400F for both gaming and multitasking. So gaming performance overall is going to be better as well. especially at 1440p. So that was my short list. If you found it helpful, leave a like and subscribe. Most importantly, like I said at the beginning, hit the bell button so you get notified when I upload this type of content. And there are a bunch of reviews of gaming PCs coming because I got some brands sending me this gaming desktop. So stay tuned to this channel because you're going to receive a bunch of reviews for different budgets. So if you're thinking of buying a gaming PC, definitely hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.